The future of our workforce isn't just written in boardrooms or factories, but in the universities, classrooms, and various forums, as well as in the minds of education leaders. They are the real visionaries who are pushing the boundaries in terms of creating the right set of talent, skills for the future professionals. In this series, Shaping Tomorrow, we honor them. We speak to various vice chancellors, deans, academic heads, and career services heads to understand how they are reshaping the higher education landscape and creating the future talent workforce. Join us as we uncover how they are transforming higher education to meet the needs of tomorrow, because shaping minds today means shaping the future workforce, one that is ready for the challenges of tomorrow. This is not just a conversation about education. This is a conversation about the future. And in this inaugural series, we cover the Middle East region, starting with the United Arab Emirates. Welcome to Shaping Tomorrow by Board Infinity. Welcome, Dr. Chris Abraham, to this podcast, Shaping Tomorrow by Board Infinity. It's an absolute pleasure to be here at SP Jain School of Global Management. You've been one of the pioneers in the management space. Today, heading the campus here as well as the CEO position in this campus. Also looking at the executive education by leading the initiatives there. I am really glad that we are having this conversation. Over to you to introduce yourself to the viewers.
Thank you, Sumesh, for this lovely opportunity. It's been a wonderful experience being with SP Jain for the last 20 years. I had the rare privilege of being employee number 1. In fact, I joined as a consultant, employee number 0, established the campus, then became employee number 1. Prior to that, I have about 17 years experience as a management consultant, as a management development specialist, with clients from different parts of the world, including the World Bank, Emirates Airlines, and the governments of India, Nigeria, Singapore, and Kenya, to name a few. In the corporate spectrum, I've done lots of work, interesting work with companies like Procter & Gamble, Reckitt Benckiser, Aramex, FedEx, and I was part of a team that launched Titan watches to the world way back in the 1980s, and was also part of a team that launched Moods condoms as part of Hindustan Latex Limited, now Laterals Limited. So I've done some interesting work across a broad spectrum of industries. As far as my background goes, I have a qualification in leadership, design thinking, and of course in marketing, and my PhD is in design thinking. So I work across as a behavioral scientist, design thinker, leadership expert, and I cut across disciplines of behavioral science, psychology, positive psychology to be more precise, the science behind your smile, neuroscience, and of course decision making, design thinking. So I crisscross different disciplines and work across with both corporates and my students.
Excellent. So I think we generally do not see such individuals in the academic system. It's a rarity. What triggered you to join the academic field after the industry? What was your...
Very interesting question, and I have a real genuine answer. I'm a bibliophile. I love books, I love reading, I love expanding my knowledge. In the corporate world, you don't get the legitimacy to read a book in your office cabin. That's the truth. So one of the charms of being in academia is you have a legitimate reason for reading a book in the office during office hours, and that brings you to a professorial kind of environment. So the best of both worlds. And I also dabble in the corporate world. So SP Jain gave me that independence. So one of the biggest charms of working at SP Jain is the degree of innovation and the freedom that they give everybody, especially at the top management, where they allow us to free flow in terms of what we think we should be doing. Even though I'm the CEO and head of the campus, I hardly do any administrative work. I have an amazing team of people who take care of different responsibilities. I apply the principle of management by exception. So they only come to me when there's a challenge.
Correct.
All the rest, everything happens. It just goes smoothly. They're all experts in their fields. They do it. So I enjoy doing what I do, which is interacting with clients, interacting with strategic stakeholders, teaching, training, consulting, research. So a lot of exciting work that I do, which I enjoy doing. I'm passionate about it. And that's how life goes on.
Great. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the programs that are running here currently?
So SP Jain is very different from a conventional business school or college. So there are two words that probably define who we are is disruptive innovation. It's a conscious, conscientious, continuous effort to disrupt everything we do. So, for example, when we set foot in Dubai, which was our first international/global campus, the question we asked ourselves is, when businesses have gone global, why not business schools?
Right.
So that was the fundamental rationale behind setting up a campus in Dubai. So the excellence that we had nurtured in India and got a name for ourselves among the top 10 in India, we said we should be able to replicate that in other parts of the world. So Dubai was welcoming because they had just set the knowledge village and they were welcoming international schools to come in. So that was a great opportunity for us to showcase what Indian talent, what Indian expertise could do in business education. There's a famous saying that says fortune favors the brave. So the Singapore happened as a circumstance. Within a year of setting up the Dubai campus, the Singapore government, under its global schoolhouse strategy, invited us to set up a campus in Singapore. And when that opportunity came in, we again started using the principle of disruptive innovation. If you have a campus in Dubai and a campus in Singapore, why should we do standalone, isolated programs when you can combine the two? So thus was born one of the world's pioneering one-year programs, 6 months in Dubai, 6 months in Singapore.
Right.
Then things went on and we said we needed an international identity. And the international identity happened with the Australian accreditation. So a third campus was added. Sydney came into the picture. And then Mumbai was anyway there as part of our Indian roots. And we set up a global version of our Indian campus with one in Kurla and one in Vadala. So we have two global campuses in India, Mumbai as well. And last 2 years back, London came into the picture. So students today have an option to study at London for a term or a year. If they're undergrad, they could study for a year. And if they are master's students, they could study for a term in Brighton. And this year, we're proud to say that our latest campus has been established or acquired at San Francisco with 3 campuses in San Diego, Silicon Valley, and in California.
Excellent. So in this pursuit, right, I'm sure that the nature of the studies here are pretty global. Can you give us some light into the demographics of the students who come into the program?
Again, so consciously, a decision was taken to diversify the demographics of the students. So at any given point of time in our undergraduate program, we would have a 40 to 60 spread, 40 being Indians and 60% international. Masters, we don't have that kind of a spread, but still it's a decent 15 to 25% across cohorts. International, and the rest would be Indians. But these Indians again would come from different parts of the world. They could be Indians from UAE, Indians from the region, Indians from other parts. Yeah.
So it's very interesting, right? The program is spanning across multiple regions. That means there is a core need to localize the programs according to the market demands there. How is this planned out?
I have a slightly different way to look at it.
Okay.
We didn't know there was a term behind it. But as I said, we felt that today the corporate world needs global managers. And in our understanding, a global manager is somebody who understands different cultures, different business practices, different economics, and different geopolitical scenarios. So in that pursuit, we were doing things. 2010, Harvard University does a very interesting study. The key skills for the 21st century manager/leader. And one of the things they said, in fact, among the top 2 or 3, was something called global intelligence. And they defined exactly what we were doing. And we said, so what we are doing as a terminology, which is global intelligence. Global intelligence is the ability of an individual to survive and thrive in any global environment, understanding cultural nuances, politics, economics, business practices, leadership, so on and so forth. So our students, for example, when they're getting exposed to a country/city, they are not just getting exposed to a city. They're getting exposed to the politics, to the economics, to the culture, and to the business practices. So what happens is student is different. Now, fast forward 1 year, 2 years. When this student is pitched against, an SP Jain student pitched against any other student, with all due respect to other schools, it may come from some of the top names, But that's a single city, one city focused education. This guy comes with 3 to 4 cities. So his brain, and there's a neuroscience behind it. Every time you go to a new place, every time you're exposed to new culture, your brain is rewiring with new kinds of thoughts and ideas.
Absolutely.
And it's a absorbent. It doesn't know what to do with it. So it's absorbing all these new things. Singapore's one kind of life, Dubai is another, contrast. And then you go to Sydney, it's a first world kind of life. London is equally like that. So all these different things are absorbed by this amazing human brain. Now comes a situation where there's a global problem. This student is now an employee of a multinational or an international corporation. There's an international challenge. The brain of an SP Jain student is rewired with multiple international experiences. So when he or she sees the problem, they see it from that multinational global intelligent perspective.
Okay.
So there are very method in the madness, if I may say so.
So in this case, just slightly trying to deep dive into the academic side, right? How do you really measure the success of the academic program? Is it on the basis of outcomes of employability for students, or
two things I would say? So one is placements, of course, which is a straight metric. And in fact, most of our rankings that we have got, The Economist, the Wall Street Journal, the Times Higher Education, the Forbes, the Fortune, one of the key things is the placements. In fact, they have a very interesting parameter. Salary earned before the student joined the program, salary earned immediately after finishing the program, salary increase 3 years hence. And you would find our students among some of the best in the world. So there, I think there is a valid case. The second interesting trend we are seeing is the application of this acquired knowledge in starting their own businesses. So increasingly, we see our students who work for 2 years, 3 years for a company, branching out as entrepreneurs. And for that, that's the big delight. Because we now have this vision that we make them not job seekers, but job creators. And increasingly, that's happening in every
seeing a lot of students.
Lots of students. That's a very interesting trend. And some of them, in fact, we have our first, unicorn. Yeah, from a student who studied in Dubai and Singapore. It was a startup, now it's a unicorn. So very proud about that.
Great, awesome. And when you look at the academic rigor, right? So generally what I have seen is that a lot of students in the Emirates, once let's say they come, not the nationalized or the expats here, but students coming from other parts of the world, when they come in, they do have a challenge around trying to bear the living expense, and many of them do go for push for internships, and those kind of activities happen, right? Now sometimes what happens in this kind of a format is that the academic rigor kind of goes down for the student. Do we have such a challenge here, or we do not have the challenge?
Interesting question. So again, see, in all the cities that our students get a chance to study, there are options for part-time work and internships.
Okay.
But let's be honest, the academic rigor is equally demanding. There's no compromise.
Yeah.
So on day one, we give them the message, yes, you have an opportunity to make a little extra money, which could probably take care of your living expenses. That's fine. But absolutely no compromise in terms of attendance, assignments, class participation, whatever. So no compromise. You have to balance. And you see, this is interesting. This is, again, being a behavioral scientist, I can share this. Initially, the brain resists. The brain's default mode is lazy. Okay, I'm relaxing. But now there's no choice. I have to work. I have to also study. I have my grades to be completed. I have to get a good, grade to get placed. So they balance. So initially, there'll be resistance for a few weeks. And they get used to it. Most of them, I wouldn't say it's 100% success rate. Some of them fail or fall, in between, because in lack of, let's say, prioritization or a mix-up in the priorities could happen. But more often than not, students succeed because they know that once they finish, they have a bigger, job to do.
Dr. Chris, when it comes to some of the new programs that the institution is planning, are we planning to launch any new programs in the coming years here? Or are we trying to strengthen the existing programs? What's your viewpoint around that?
Yeah. So again, going by the philosophy of disruptive innovation, the last 10 to 15 years, there's been a remarkable revolution happening in the tech space. So again, we reimagined ourselves, not just as a business school, but a business school with technology. So for the last 15 years, we've been running short-term programs, digital technology, blockchain,
Okay.
and fintech, to name a few.
Interesting.
Then, 5 years back, we started our bachelor's in data science, a 3-year intensive program, but bachelor's in data science in business. It's become a roller coaster. It's become a runaway success. And that's the only program that's accredited by DAXA, which is the de facto body for data science. And our students get jobs, placements, second year. It's a 3-year program. Then we said, let's do a master's in artificial intelligence in business. So again, it's the combination of technology and business. The first cohort is just passing out this year, and we're expecting some remarkable results. We have a tie-up with Russia's #1 IT university called ITMO, which is called. And we have a tie-up with St. Petersburg University. So lots of interesting global tie-ups, and our students get amazing projects and placements thereafter. So that's two in the tech plus business space. The other thing that we decided was to form strategic partnerships with international universities. So we have a few. One is with the University of Milan, which is a program on luxury brand management. A 1-year program, master's program in luxury brand management. Students start the first 6 months in Mumbai. The next 6 months they go to Milan.
Okay.
And the entire program is done by the Milan faculty. They get a certification. Degree comes from Milan University. And if situations permit, they would get a job, internships in Europe, or they come back to India or Dubai, where, huge luxury markets. 2 years back, we signed up with the Glion School of Hospitality Management, one of the leading Swiss schools in hospitality. Again, we run a 2-year program, master's program in hospitality, 1 year in India, 1 year in Europe, in Switzerland. Now we have recently launched a program in Masters in Wealth Management, which has been accredited by TEXA, which is our own program. And that program is again 6 months in Mumbai, 6 months in Dubai. So there's a continuous quest for programs, new programs. And as we speak, the London campus is in Canary Wharf, which is the financial district of London. And right there, we are running master's programs in finance. So I told you our latest campus is in Silicon Valley. The programs that we'll run in Silicon Valley will pertain to artificial intelligence, robotics, entrepreneurship, within echoing the ecosystem of Silicon Valley.
So in that perspective, we did speak about the programs, the interdisciplinary approach that we try to bring in. Now, a lot of programs are technology-oriented, tech-facing, but trying to look inward, right? From an organizational perspective, what are those technology integrations that currently SP Jain Global use? For example, I have seen the studio set up in the Kulla campus where you can beam to people across multiple nations. Are there some other exciting things also which is there on the cards, or it's already there?
So for us, the philosophy behind technology is technology in and technology out. What do we mean by technology in? When we talk so passionately about the latest trends in technology, we say we have to do it. And I think way back in 2015, when blockchain was just gaining a credence, we were probably one of the first schools in the world to have all our certificates in blockchain. So that's the first revolution. And as you've seen the ELO, Engaged Learning Online, we have 3 studios in Dubai. It started in Dubai. Dubai was the first campus to have the ELO studio. And we have 3 studios in Dubai, 3 in Mumbai, and 2 in Singapore, 1 in Sydney, and 1 in London. And pretty soon, we'll have a similar version in Silicon Valley as well. So that's the online. Now, when I say online, it's not online. The key word is engaged.
Right.
Engaged learning online. So online programs having a touch and feel of a typical face-to-face program. I just completed a round of courses for our London campus, Executive MBA. I mean, it was awesome. I had students from 17 different countries sitting on those different screens, and it was a great experience. So that's how the future is going to be. We use it extensively for our corporate education, that is executive education, where we do hybrids. So corporate partners would come in for a week to the campus, and then the remaining 2-3 months they would be online. Then they come back again for a week to the campus. So all these permutations, combinations can be done. Then if you look at our integration of technologies, right from admissions, recruitment, selections, onboarding, grading, right up to the alumni, post-alumni experience, it's all seamless with some of the best technologies available, from Salesforce to PeopleSoft, all the best, HubSpot, you name it, we have all of that. And we're very, very conscious. When ChatGPT was launched and LLMs became popular, you may have seen that reticence among a large number of universities. They were kind of scared. They said, how do we overcome? We were one of the first to embrace it. We went across campuses, students, faculty, and so there's a robust training program. And while we were, let's say, miles ahead in terms of the race, now there's a new trend catching up at universities like Harvard are training people on how to use AI for teaching, for course management. We have our own software where we use LLMs and generative AI for designing courses, for grading, for assignments. So I think it runs in the ecosystem. We're very conscious about it.
Excellent. Now, you are a terrific and a passionate educator. Now, what does this person do apart from work during the free time?
Interesting question. So I just keep reading, enhancing myself, meeting new people. So part of my job is, building strategic partnerships. So talking to different kinds of people in different parts of the world, attending. Part of it is brand building. So I go around attending conferences globally. I'm a 3 times TEDx speaker. I do about 50 conferences a year. So that's part of my routine. So I get invited to be a speaker, a panelist, a panel chair, keynote. So I keep doing that with a lot of passion. I love to speak to people to inspire them, because one of my areas of research is positive psychology. And ironically, and it's natural, it's biological, that we are hardwired for negativity. So a lot of times we go through anxiety, depression, loneliness. Part of it is this obsession with technology, the mobile technology, to be more precise, in social media. So my job is to give them the science behind your smile. How consciously you can rewire your brain through neuroplasticity, through reframing, how you can do that. So a lot of interesting stuff to keep me busy throughout.
Excellent. On a closing note, I think UA is like a melting pot for a lot of students to come in right now. I think every 3 months there's a new institution that is easily starting out across all the Emirates. If somebody has to be really be successful in higher education, what do they have to take care of in this region?
Differentiation. It has to be differentiation in the program, in the pedagogy, in the recruitment of the faculty, the recruitment of the students, the deployment of appropriate technologies. It's a very conscious effort to be different. You can't be run on the mill. Run on the mill will get lost in the race.
Dr. Chris, it has been wonderful to have you in this podcast series. Very insightful conversation, I would say, and extremely beautiful campus to be in, and your room specifically, I would say. It's like the perfect podcasting environment, if you really ask me. So thank you for being part of this particular initiative, and I would like to congratulate you for all the efforts in building this great institution.
Thank you very much, and wish you the very best on this lovely initiative. Take care.
Thank you.